Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I want to talk about an awesome success story that one of my clients shared with me. And this has to do with a specific person and manifesting them back into your reality. Specifically, this client was in no contact. You don't have to be in no contact to get the relationship you want, but the success story happened to be about that. So if you are trying to manifest a specific person, are in no contact, or not the type of contact you prefer, or they're just not showing up at all, I think this story will really inspire you, motivate you, help you. Okay, so let's get into it. So this client was really wanting to get to know this specific person better. They had kind of started dating, they were talking, they were hanging out, they were dating, and then their specific person had to go off for some work, and so they to a different location, so they went no contact for a few months. And this whole time she was thinking about this specific person and wanting to see how their relationship could progress, and just really longing for communication and something to start up again with them. So for a while she just really wasn't seeing any evidence in her 3D that this person was showing back up in her reality. They were still no contact. She hadn't reached out. She was really trying to work on her mental diet and manifest communication without lifting a finger in the 3D, which, by the way, is totally possible. You never have to take action in your 3D to manipulate your circumstances to get your desires. The work is done here first, and then the 3D reflects it. And 3D is also the same as physical reality. Okay, so she was really wanting to hear from this specific person again and start talking to them and dating them again. So she kept working on her story. She was affirming, this person texts me all the time. SP is always messaging me. SP misses me. SP wants to talk to me. SP wants to date me. SP pursues me. But there was nothing showing up in her reality. And this went on for a couple months. No movement. No perceived movement by her in her 3D. So the first thing I want to call out here is, if you are noticing no movement, that's you not living in the end of your desire. That's not you thinking from the perspective that your desire is true now. Because if you already thought it was true now, you wouldn't be looking in your 3D for evidence that it's true. Okay, so that's the first indicator that you're slipping on your mental diet. So after she realized she kept noticing her 3D and noticing that nothing seemed to be changing, there seemed to be no movement, she thought, okay, what am I really thinking about this? What story am I really telling myself about this specific person, about dating them, about what they're thinking? Okay, so she really, and she had been visualizing and affirming no movement. Okay, so what am I really thinking about this person? What stories am I telling myself about this specific person? So she asked herself, why do I think I can't have this? Why do I think I can't have this desire? That question is so important because it's getting at the root of whatever limitations you are imposing on yourself as it relates to your desires. Another way to say that is, that's how you find your resistance. That's how you find a thought that's contrary to what you want. That's how you find your blocks, is, what am I thinking right now that's telling me, what am I telling myself are the reasons why I can't have this or I don't have it right now? Right there, that's going to tell you what story is your most dominant thoughts on the matter. So she asked herself that question, why do I think I can't have this? And every answer that came up, she took that answer and thought, okay, well, that's not true anymore. This is what's true instead. And she wrote out a affirmation, a thought that directly contradicted her limiting belief. So one by one, every answer she got when she asked that question to herself, she said, okay, that's not true anymore. This is what's true instead. Okay, that's not true anymore. This is what's true instead. Until eventually, when she asked herself that question, no answers came up in her mind. There was no voice telling her she couldn't have it. There was no reason she could give herself for why she couldn't have it or why it wasn't true right now. And the next day, she was at work, just doing her job, not focusing on anything in particular, just working. And she got a knock on her door, and she works in a really secure building where you have to have a badge to get in. So she just thought it was a coworker. So she finished what she was doing, opened the door, and guess who was standing on the other side of the door? Her specific person. So this person literally showed up out of thin air in her reality as soon as she tackled her limiting beliefs on the desire. So when she finally released herself from any limitations, boom, he had to show up. He had to show up because that's what she's been affirming for so long. And now there's finally no thoughts in the way of it. There's no thoughts contradicting it. There's nothing within her telling her she can't have it anymore, or she doesn't, it's not possible for her, if it's not true for her. So SP shows up at her door, gives her an incredibly long hug, which is something she was affirming for, and tells her she's unforgettable, which is also word for word something she was affirming for. And now they are back in communication, and they've planned some dates together, and they're talking again. And all of this happened so fast. As soon as she finally sat with herself and said, why do I think I can't have this? What am I telling myself is true about this situation that means that I can't have it? That means that it's not true for me. That means it's not possible for me. That means that it's not true right now. So if you are trying to manifest something and you've been struggling with it for a while, it doesn't matter if it's a specific person or money or health, whatever it is, ask yourself, why do I think I can't have this right now? And whatever answers you get, write those down, because those are limiting thoughts. Those are things you're telling yourself are reasons why you can't have it, why your desire is not true for you right now. And that's going to continue to be in your way. That's going to continue to make your manifestation not visible to you until you address those. And the way you address them is you acknowledge them, you notice them for what they are, and you start telling yourself something different and better is true. You start telling yourself something you want is true instead. You contradict that limiting thought with a thought that feels better, that aligns with your desire, that matches what you want. So an example could be, let's say you ask yourself this question, why do I think I can't have what I want? Why do I think it's not true for me right now? And the answer is because SP's in a relationship. Okay, there's your limiting thought. You think you can't have SP because they're with somebody else. Even if you're telling yourself they love me, they only want me, they only choose me, you still are believing that they are with someone else, that they've chosen someone else, that they're in a relationship with someone else. So you need to kick that belief out of your mind. You need to not let it have any more space in your mind. You need to stop focusing on that and shift your focus to, they're not in a relationship. They love me. They're dating me. There's no one else. You know, that's silly. That relationship is no longer a thing. They're not together anymore. They're single. They're broken up. However you need to tell yourself that belief is not true, you do that. And that's how you create the affirmation. Create it in a way that feels natural to you. Say it to yourself in a way that feels a bit believable to you at first. It's probably not going to feel believable at all, but the way you talk to yourself helps. If you say or write your affirmations in the way that you naturally talk to yourself, it helps you to believe it more. And then remind yourself, it doesn't matter what I see out here. I'm in control of everything. I'm in control. However I describe them, that's how they have to show up. However I describe me, that's how I experience reality. That's who I am. That's who I identify as. So everyone and everything is going to show me that that's my identity. So I can change it. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. It doesn't matter if they're in a relationship. It doesn't matter if they told me they don't love me. It doesn't matter if they live 20 million miles away. It doesn't matter. What I decide is true for me is true for me. And that's what I experience. What I continue to accept as true for me in my reality is what I'm going to continue to experience. So you change that limiting thought to something that feels better, and you keep doing it. And the more you change that thought to something that feels better, the less you're going to have to change that thought. And eventually you're going to silence that thought. And then you ask yourself that question again. And if another thought comes up that's limiting, that implies to you that you can't have what you want, you do the same thing. You notice it and you say, okay, that's not true anymore. This is what's true instead. And you keep doing that until that thought goes away. And eventually you're not going to have any more contrary thoughts. You're not going to have any more limiting thoughts about your desire, and boom, that's what's going to manifest. I mean, it happens so fast. You just have to get out of your own way. Stop telling yourself any reasons why you can't have what you want. Stop telling yourself any reasons why what you want isn't possible for you. Stop telling yourself any reasons why what you want isn't true right now. And just because you haven't seen evidence of it in your reality doesn't mean you can't have it. The evidence is created from your assumptions. So if you haven't seen evidence, it's because you've not yet assumed that that is possible, true for you, you can have it. So remember, if you're getting caught up on what's out here and not liking what's out here, you're focusing on the problem. You're focusing on what you don't want. You're focusing on that what you want is not true. You have to go within and start focusing on the solution. You start focusing on what I want is true. What I want is possible for me. What I want is happening right now. What I want is true for me right now. And that's when you really see the movement in your reality. And in any case, this also proves that there's always movement, even when you can't see it. SB showed up to her work and told her that she was unforgettable and gave her this huge big hug, and he was thinking about her and all these affirmations that she'd been saying to herself for months. All these affirmations he said back to her. It had to show up because that's what she decreed within herself. That's what she decided was true. So there's always movement, even if you can't see it out here. Don't focus on that. Focus on that. It's happening now. It's true for me now. And if you are still feeling stuck, get real with yourself about your limiting thoughts on the desire, on the matter. Maybe your limiting thought is, I don't believe I can actually manifest this. And then you start to break that down by reminding yourself that it's the only way life works. We're constantly manifesting. We're either manifesting what we want or we're manifesting what we don't. We're either manifesting consciously or we're manifesting unconsciously. So we get a mix of good and bad. And if we choose to consciously change our thoughts on something, our manifestations will change towards our liking. So you start to step back into your power as a creator. You read some more Neville. You listen to some more Neville. You listen to videos on our channel. You get one-on-one coaching. You take a course. Do whatever it takes to remind you how powerful you are. Practice manifesting other things consciously so that you can build your belief in the way that this works. You are so much more powerful than you realize. You are so much more powerful. No circumstance is too great, too big, too hard, unless you tell yourself it is. So I just was really excited to share this story because she had been wanting to manifest a specific person for a few months now, and he just magically showed up at her door. And it was after she finally broke down those limiting thoughts that she was holding on to. And he's showing up exactly how she's been intending all this time. So this can happen for you too. You don't have to lift a finger in the 3D to get what you want. Sometimes it's nice to do that just to use it as feedback. If you haven't talked to somebody and you don't really know what you're thinking about it and you can't figure it out, send them a message. Then use whatever happens after that as feedback. If they don't write you back, are you making it mean they're ghosting you? Then that's something you need to change. If they write you back and it's not the response you want, why are you making that response mean something you don't want? Change it to mean something you want. They're just busy. They just were surprised to hear from me. They'll write me a really nice message when they have a minute. Their phone was charging. They were working out. They were sleeping. Always use what happens in your 3D to your advantage by making it mean that it works in line with your desires, that it's part of the bridge of incidents, that it's always for you, helping you. Circumstances are super great feedback for what's up here. How we react to them tells us what's up here. What's our default mode of thinking? If you're seeing a circumstance related to what you want and you're reacting in an emotional way and it's not an emotion you would like, you're getting upset, you're getting mad, you're getting frustrated, you're getting sad, that's a good tell. That's a good indicator. Okay, this is my default mode of thinking as it relates to every circumstance. Am I a catastrophizer? Do I always assume the worst at first? Or this is my default mode of thinking as it relates to this person or this circumstance in general. So use your reality, use your 3D reality, your physical reality, what's happening in front of you, use it as feedback. But Again, you never have to lift a finger out here to force your manifestation. You do it in your mind, and then it shows up so beautifully. As soon as you let go of whatever limitations you're holding on to, everything just starts rolling in, all of your manifestations. So I really intend that this video helped you and inspired you, and nothing is impossible, and you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So if you need help figuring out what thoughts are limiting you, where you are limiting yourself as it relates to your desires, I'm available for one-on-one coaching. And I also have an awesome new course out on manifesting your ideal relationship. And this can be an ideal relationship with a specific person you know, a specific person you have history with, a person you've never met yet, a person you would like to date but have never talked to. It could even help with relationships with family, friends, anyone. So if you're interested in manifesting better relationships, this course is available now. You can find the link for my coaching and courses in the description of this video. All right, to this client, I just want to say I'm so excited for you. This is such a fun story, and I can't wait to hear more updates. And everyone else, I intend you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.